Hey, this is Liz, and you're listening to the SouthCack Syndicate Podcast.
Episode 17.
We got it this time.
Thank you for returning to listen to us today. So, Thanksgiving week, friends and family in town. You got big plans for Thanksgiving? Do all your folks come to South Carolina, or do y'all go to...
Short story, my mom was supposed to fly in Friday.
Yeah.
With my sister, brother-in-law, nephews, nieces. Got on the plane and my mom passed out. And so they had to unload everybody.
No.
Yeah. So just bad deal. So we're rescheduling.
Just went out?
Not going to make this trip happen. Yeah, I think our blood sugar kind of crashed or something. So anyway, but we'll do traditional Thanksgiving at lunch. And then we usually do a dinner that's like something totally not Thanksgiving, like lasagna or taco bar, something just throw it way
Wow.
out. Yeah.
We do a lunch Thanksgiving, and then we eat on that Thanksgiving.
Keep on eating.
Yeah. That's what we're going to have for, another 5 days. Because Megan cooks a ton. And then we've got both of our sets of parents coming in, Tanya and Sammy. Stella, friend David and his family flew in from Illinois this week. So they've been doing that for years. So we just know we're hosting them every Thanksgiving. And so... When I said, hey, you want to go do a podcast? We don't have a guest this week because it's a short week.
Yeah.
And
for those listening, we usually record on Thursdays. Obviously, that didn't happen this week. Mm-hmm. What is today? Tuesday?
Mm-hmm. Monday.
What? No.
Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't know. What day is this? Yeah, what day is this?
No clue.
Back to episode. We mentioned that in one of the episodes. Yeah. Side hustle episode,
I think
maybe?
I've still got the .com for that.
Yeah.
What day is this .com?
See, it rings true.
It is.
All right, so what are we talking about?
So told David to come down. He'd just be our podcast guest for our Thanksgiving special. And so welcome to the SouthCack Syndicate Podcast, Mr. David Leavell.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We already kind of got into cigars. David's a cigar aficionado. Is that what you call him?
I don't know. What is the expert if you're a cigar? It's not sommelier. That's wine.
Well, I mean, if you have a business or a storefront, you become a certified tobacconist or a retailer tobacconist, and you can even do that on a consumer level.
Right.
So
a tobacconist.
We were talking earlier, the same thing. You can actually go to Tobacconist University and do
certified
online courses and get certified as a tobacconist consumer.
Interesting.
Which I've actually done.
Yeah.
So it's just appreciating the history, of the cigar, the origin of it, how it started, where it got here, where it came from, et cetera. And, having the ability to, know your, the parts of the plant and, different, wrappers and fillers and binders and all that stuff, and pass that knowledge on to somebody else who, is looking to get into it or, enjoy a stick for the first time, like me and you can probably go back and forth on several things, and Jared can probably sit here in the dark on some of it.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think one of my favorite things, and we've talked about this kind of before, but one of my favorite things about cigars is the fact that it has lineage and history and
a story for the process.
And they have to be aged. Like you're not just rolling a cigar and then smoking it. That stuff has to take time. It's like bourbon. Like you don't just, bring it right out of the still and start drinking it. You got to put it up in a barrel somewhere to get what you ultimately want, right?
Yeah,
that's that. He brought me a Pappy Van Winkle cigar and handed it to me last night, and that's what he said. They
aged in a Pappy barrel. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's a barrel fermented tobacco in a Pappy barrel, and I think they ferment it on that one. I think it's 2 years, maybe.
Yep.
And then, they'll do a limited release of them, and believe Drew Estate's the one that actually does the release on those.
Yeah. They partner with them or whatever. Because they also do I've had a Buffalo Trace cigar as well. And I think it's the same deal. I think that they just partner with them, use those barrels or whatnot. So, yeah, there's just so much history in it. A lot of times tobacco comes from different regions of the world in one cigar. So you might have a binder from one place, you might have a filler from another place, a wrapper from somewhere else, and like they bring all that together, and
we don't talk about this with chewing tobacco or dip, right?
No,
you can't be a tobacconist if you dip Copenhagen.
It came from South Carolina, probably. Just grind it up.
Philip Morris,
Put some flavors in it.
a little fiberglass.
Yeah.
Roll on.
Yeah. So, yeah, and, what's funny, too, is because that's one of the things when I smoke a cigar with somebody that's new to it, the first thing I do before we even light it is I try to give them some history on it. It's got a filler. It's a long leaf filler. It's not, it's long leaves that are rolled together to make the filler, which is why a cigar burns the way that it does. It's why it won't stay burning if you don't consume it. It'll just go out, that's what it's supposed to do. It's not supposed to be like a cigarette. I also tell people too, because there's this big thing about, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, Cuban cigars. So everybody's like, oh, is that a Cuban cigar?
It's overrated.
It is overrated. And as a matter of fact, you get better cigars now outside of Cuba than you would inside of Cuba. And the reason is because when they did the trade embargo on Cuba, a lot of those families that have been growing cigars forever moved. They went to Nicaragua. They went to the Dominican Republic. They went somewhere else. They took their seeds with them. And so technically what you're getting is a Cuban cigar from a family that's been making those cigars for years.
But from Honduras.
From Honduras or Nicaragua or somewhere other than Cuba.
Yeah, and a lot of those are actually labeled as Cuban seeded cigars.
Right.
So, the origin goes back to the original.
Well, and what you have too is the cigars that are still made in Cuba, there's not enough sales happening out of Cuba now to sustain those companies. And so they're not letting them age as long because they're trying to profit. But they're not letting them,
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff that even leaves that region goes to the UK. Davidoff is probably, one of the bigger, manufacturers, suppliers, and resellers of it. And
what do you think about a Davidoff cigar? I'm not a fan. Not
I
a
don't
big
like
fan.
them. Not a fan. I think for me personally, and obviously taste is subjective, but they're very woody, very dry, almost like fall leafy.
Yeah.
I don't think they contain
The couple that
for me much flavor.
The couple that I've had, I'm not gonna say they weren't good, but for the money, I'm like, man, you could find you could find other local regional style, blended potentially cigars that are really good.
South Carolina's known for the bright leaf tobacco.
Oh, did you just look it up?
Yeah.
Bright leaf or broadleaf?
Bright
leaf.
I don't think I've had a bright leaf before, but there is a cigar company pretty prominent here. I can't tell you the name offhand, but they actually make a South Carolina-based cigar that's a national brand.
Oh, really?
Interesting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is interesting.
We used to be heavy, and I'd have to look that up. But South Carolina used to grow a lot of tobacco.
It used to be the number one cash crop for South Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still is.
Well, now I just read it's producing about 1,800 in 2021. Census was around $1,821 an acre. Is what you
tobacco would.
Yep.
So I know South Carolina by acreage had more corn crop, I think is what it was, but by dollars, it made more money than anything else in tobacco, or that used to be the case.
Yeah, cotton too. Big cotton state.
Yeah.
And peaches. We grow more peaches than Georgia.
Oh, really?
And Georgia's the peach state. Little fun fact for you.
Shout out to the Gaffney peach.
Gaffney peach.
The butt in the sky.
But on 85. Or is that 85? Yeah.
It's 85.
Yeah.
Gaffney. So there's a water tower that looks like a peach, but the seam on the peach faces the road, so it looks like a big old butt in the sky.
Is that the water tower used in House of Cards?
Yes, it is.
Is
it is the same water tower, same little town, Gaffney Water Tower.
Y'all listening and watching, y'all search it yourself.
Yeah, so
along with us.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
That's great.
Yeah, there you go.
That's great. So, David, you love cigars so much, and you like cervezas. You started an Instagram page for people to follow along your journey of what you're smoking and what you're drinking. How do they find you there?
All right, just cigars _and_cervezas on Instagram.
Got it.
Name change may be coming soon.
Yeah,
we'll see. Maybe because cervezas obviously kind of limits you, as like we were talking to
Modelo.
Beer.
Yeah.
You know, and as much as we drink and the variety of things we drink, so thinking about just switching that over to like ashes and alcohol. So
I'll dig that,
see.
man.
We'll see how that goes. But
Because you're kind of a heavy bourbon consumer as well, aren't you?
man, dude, I tell you, it all depends on what day of the week it is. I mean, it could be beer one day, it could be wine the next, bourbon the next. I do not discriminate against any form of alcohol whatsoever.
Yeah, I see David once a year, and it's Thanksgiving, and every year he comes with something. So it's like last year it was a case of, I don't know, 12 different wines, or however many. This year it was a palette of all kinds of sours. For sour beers.
Yeah.
And so we did tastings last night. And then next year, we'll see what he's into then.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So we talked about cigars a little bit. We definitely drank probably 9 different sours, and David lined them up, started them from the lightest to the heaviest.
Yeah, I went from that the traditional light-bodied sour all the way up to like a double XL slushy style sour.
Yeah.
You know, so
You ever mix them?
I don't. Well, I can't say that, I guess. The lighter ones, if it's a single flavor, maybe.
Yeah.
But some of the thicker ones that we have from a company up in Indiana, they're already kind of out there on their flavor profile. So, last night we're drinking some of them that contain like double cherry, black cherry, vanilla cream, trail mix, marshmallow, and cinnamon. Something, so they already
all
have
in one can. It was like a
crazy
explosion.
Well, there's a local beer place here that they'll mix like a sour and an IPA or something. And it kind of, I think the idea is that you take some of the sour out and you take some of the bitter out by mixing them. So it kind of gives you, usually it's for people that are kind of undecisive on beers. They don't really know what they like. And they're just like, here, try this. We'll just mix it.
You remember going to a restaurant and getting a cup and then hitting all the sodas in the fountain? We call it like the suicide drink. And you put Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew. Everything but sweet tea would go into this cup, right? It's kind of the same thing, but only with 2 beers.
Well, last year we were out here, we're hitting the tap room, and, Megan, she was, I don't remember what they had on tap back then, but we're doing half and half of something.
It was probably a sour.
Right. There were sours, but, it was like half blackberry, half something else. So, we'll do, like I said, I'll mix single flavors like that and do half and halves or something. But, for the most part, just a majority of the stuff that I buy is already so far out there. They stand tall by themselves.
So what brewery are you at right now? What's your favorite brewery?
If I could do some Illinois stuff, I do like Phase 3 Brewing, which is really good.
I'm familiar with them.
But I've been a real big fan of 450 North from Columbus, Indiana.
Okay.
So 450 North Brewing, they're the ones that they do, like monthly limited releases, and when they're gone, they're gone.
That's the ones I like.
Then they usually have
Evil Twin.
Some staples that they always have on hand or something like that. But their distribution ring is non-existent. I mean, you kind of got to be there to get it.
Right.
And when they do the limited releases, they're only available for pickup from the distillery.
See, I was talking to Kiwi about doing that on that podcast we did, which was like 12 or something. But I like that. Sweetwater Brewing in Atlanta,
Georgia. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia has what they call a dank tank. And it's just a small tank. They'll do like some, I don't want to call it experimental. I mean, I'm sure they have an idea of what's going to come out of it, but it's a one-time deal. When it's gone, it's gone. And something about that makes you want to like consume it, knowing that you're going to be one of the few that get to try it.
Yeah, but the problem is how far do you have to go to get it? So, if I want 450 North, unless I phone a friend who goes, picks it up, package it, mails it, whatever.
You're not getting any.
You're driving at least 5 hours to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, part of it's a marketing ploy. I mean, even like the dank tank, and this is kind of what I was telling Alex. I'm like, man, you could do that and then just name it a different every time. Even if you have a beer that kind of circles back and it's similar to the one, you just name it something different and it still makes it rare. Yeah.
But you can't collect craft beer, right? Craft beer is brewed to consume.
I know guys that have way more craft beer than they can drink.
Oh, what's the point?
I don't know.
It will go bad. It's not like wine.
Well, it depends on what it is. If it's a stout, it'll last. Matter of fact, the age. Mm-hmm. The stout will age and it'll get better. But But I think the reason that he has so many is because when he rolls in and there's like this limited run, he gets a 4-pack and he puts it in his fridge. Well, then he can't drink it because he's got so much in there already. Matter of fact, he might be listening.
Yeah.
Shout out BG.
Okay.
We need to have him on.
Okay.
We'll have to like get away from the beer podcast a little bit before we bring in
always
another
circles back
a
though,
beer guy.
doesn't it?
But yeah, so
Yeah, Highland Brewing does a release every year, and it's called Cold Mountain. Like, and you can watch people start posting, "Hey, Cold Mountain just arrived at such and such store in Georgia. Cold Mountain arrived here," and that's a sought after local, not local to South Carolina, local beer. That when we opened up Weston Co., it was like, "Hey, you getting Cold Mountain?" I learned so much about what people wanted and what releases were and limited quantities.
Mexican cake.
Westbrook Mexican cake is another one.
Got to remember that from last year.
Free House Black is Beautiful is probably my best experience with a craft beer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and they're opening up a brewery right next
you're
door.
maturing right here in front of our eyes.
I'm telling you. I started with like key lime pie,
See, I don't see how you go back to
the Select.
or anything. You know, I just like when I drink a normal beer now, I'm just like so disappointed. You know,
Yeah, but you got to have your fillers, though. I mean, you can't-
maybe
you
on the
can't-
lake.
You can't drink 9%.
but I do.
Craft beers all day. The way
I have before. It
The way
didn't turn out
some-
well, but I have. I mean, I would pack a cooler full of craft beer to go on the lake, and it would be a pretty rough day.
If I was going to do an overnight on the river, I'm filling a cooler full of regular beer and maybe throwing 3 crafts in there.
Well, that's what I started doing. So I would throw in like 2 crafts and then a bunch of natties and some salt. You know what I'm saying? Then I'd start off with the crafts and then switch over.
Salt.
Well, it's kind of like the stuff we're drinking last night. Drinking a case of those versus a case of those is not the same ballpark.
Yeah.
I could tell when I woke up this morning that we did a lot of craft beer samplings last night.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's terrible.
I've got to where I don't drink near as much beer. Like, I don't hardly ever drink any beer, really, to be honest with
I'm
you.
on a margarita kick right now.
Have you tried the Ray Soul that K2 was talking about? He says it tastes like a margarita straight. You just put it on ice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So after my trip to Costa, it's like that was nothing but margaritas. So all the places we went, they all use the same bitters. And I really like a hot drink, not temperature wise, but I like the heat.
Yeah.
And so they were like, "Here, take a picture." So I took the picture and I ordered it off Amazon. It came in. So now I'm making margarita.
See, I've never think I've had bitters in a margarita.
Oh my God! Well, when I did, it was a game changer.
I mean, I've had bitters in old fashions.
So
obviously,
Scrappy's
but
bitters is what it is.
not a margarita.
It's amazing.
You get the same thing on cigars too. You get a peppery note on the back end usually on a good hot cigar. I mean, like actual pepper,
Right.
You know. So, circling back to the cigar thing. In your opinion, definitely making a resurgence.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's getting big.
yeah. I mean, just diving into the culture in the small time that I did. I mean, the amount of people and the new stuff that's coming out, and I mean, I think it's booming.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching some stuff today. I mean, even like Brad Lee, Ed Milet, all those guys, they're always
Got one.
got a cigar right there, you know?
Yeah, and circling back one more time to the stouts, because you were talking about bourbons and whiskeys with yours, but I like just deep, dark, nasty Maduro cigars.
Yeah.
Love a stout with those.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
I've never tried that.
Kind of go chocolate for chocolate, kind of, or
Yeah.
on the darker ones, you get like that bitter espresso or that coffee bean flavor that could come with it. Goes great with a stout.
I can see that. Coat the palate.
You dip your cigars in bourbon.
Yes, I have.
Is that a thing?
Yes, and it's fantastic.
I've never done it, but if you you need to watch a video of Arnold Schwarzenegger going in there doing his tequila dipped cigars. That's the first time I've seen anything like that. But I've heard people of like wet aging.
Yeah.
Like they'll dip it, then leave
Let
it
it-
dry so it settles in. But the way he does it is he dips it while he smokes it.
That's
dips it while he
what I do.
smokes it.
That's what I do. I'll tell you a funny story.
Smoking tequila.
A buddy of mine is not really a fan of cigars, but every once in a while we get together, and a couple of us, he'll be like, I'll smoke one. But you could just tell he's not into it. We started dipping, and he's like, dude, that changed the everything about this. So you get some of that flavor of the bourbon too.
Really?
Yeah, on every puff, So yeah, you just dip. It's good. good stuff.
Be afraid my cigar is going to start unraveling and falling apart.
Not if you get a good one. If it's done right.
So you're saying the backwoods or black and milds are not the cigars.
The rollers. I mean, if it's rolled properly, it shouldn't come apart. Got multiple caps on it and
unless it's
cut
just
properly.
Went dry on you, and it's just at this point in time a dead leaf. And you go to cut it and it just disintegrates. But if it retains its moisture, you shouldn't have any issue with it unraveling unless you cut the cap too far back. But
yeah.
I was flying out of Liberia a couple years ago, and there was a guy in the airport in Liberia just whacking at some leaves and rolling, and you could buy the cigars right there in the airport and take off with you. I think I mentioned that to you at one time, and you were like, well, it's not really how that works. You're not going to be able to smoke that cigar when you get home, right?
I mean, you could. It's probably not going to be. It's probably not going to be what it could be.
I think that it was more of a novelty.
Yeah.
Than it was anything.
What happens is a lot of people will buy those just like you would buy wine. You buy it to go put it in your collection, and you age that, right? And then 3 years down the road, you're like, oh yeah, remember these cigars we got in Liberia? Where that's kind of why that is. But a lot of people don't realize that.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's where the market in the cigar industry has changed, because the cigar industry is kind of becoming the whiskey business now. Where a lot of these people's put barrels back for, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
A lot of the cigars that you're getting now are already aged.
They are. You're right.
And they're coming ready to smoke, and nothing pure hand rolled is going to be worth it. But
yeah,
a lot of these ones, sure, there's a few I got in my humidor that I'm not going to touch probably for a significant amount of time just because they're young. But a majority of the stuff that I buy is already,
well, they age the tobacco separately
for
several years. Usually, they'll hang it and age it. But there's, in tobacco, it has to degas. That's what the aging process does. It degasses itself, and if it's not completely degassed, it like the fermenting process stuff. You're smoking that, and then you're tasting it, and it's everywhere. It's
like weed. We're going to take a short break. Be back in just a minute.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time-consuming. When it comes to your auto and home insurance needs, make things simple and trust your Allstate experts. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your auto and home. Bundling saves money, sure, but it also saves you time. So you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact Clemson Allstate agent Shane Smith at 864-654-1047 today for a free personalized insurance proposal. Allstate, are you in good hands?
We're back.
So, little story. These two right here got a lot of history. Mm-hmm. So I want some dirt on Jared. Tell us a good.
And we're gone.
Well, I'm pretty sure at this point in time the statute of limitations has not ran out. So some things I would be able to say.
David worked for our company for as long as I can remember. You were there before I got there. Mm-hmm. And we became really good friends back in the day in the Midwest. And I started traveling a lot. And I just take David with me.
Yeah.
Let's go here. Let's do that. Let's go that.
Go-to guy.
Yeah.
Are you still there?
I'm still doing it.
All right.
So I got 21 years in the technology industry.
3 different owners.
Yeah, same gig though. I mean, broaden our horizons a little bit. We got our hands on a lot of different tech right now, but
sure,
but no, I mean,
he was the guy. So I had this bad habit. Man, I shouldn't tell this, but I'm going to. I had this bad.
But nobody's listened by now. They've all checked out.
So I had this bad habit of collecting things on the road, and it just happened to be name tags,
like Hooters name tags.
Like wherever we were.
Doesn't matter what it was.
Oh,
can I have
I want that name tag?
Yeah, can I get that from you?
And so we were at the Peabody Hotel. I met Mark Cuban on this day.
Okay, I've heard that story.
There was a girl with a name tag, and they were like metal, really nice hotel, nice name tag. And I was like, I want your name tag. No, it's not going to have it.
How much is it going to cost me?
We left or something, and David hands me the girl's name tag. I was like, he said, you owe me $20. Okay. So he started getting the name tags for me. So fast forward, I met Megan. There's this drawer full of name tags.
How'd you explain that one away?
I didn't. then one of my friends has a bag, a big grocery bag of all these name tags I collected over the years. I don't remember who I gave them to.
I don't know. My thing was hotel cards.
I do the same
and
thing.
I still do it today.
I do too.
So usually we check in somewhere, they always at least give you 2.
Yeah.
You know, I always leave one behind and take one with me. And
Shoe boxes.
I've got stacks, yeah. I want to make like a mural or something. I want to do something with them.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, I was with the company for 15 years, and out of those 15 years, we were on the road probably a decade, heavy, where we were spending the night more in a hotel room than we were on home on an annual basis.
Yeah.
And, I don't have many travel memories without David being there. If I needed something, he'd go get it, and he was...
Like a name tag.
Like anything, a can of dip at 2 in the morning.
Whether it was work-related or personal, you know, I mean...
If there's anybody that's got dirt, it'd be David.
And it is too. Like I said, I would never sell you out that way.
I appreciate that. And then when I started playing music, it just made sense to throw David on the bus too.
You want to go sell merch?
Yeah. He was my merch guy.
There you go.
And he took merch to a whole nother level. Like, it was professional. T-shirts were folded. He put up specials.
Yeah.
You know.
He was like your hype man too in the background.
He'd bring me these 4 or 5 plastic bins, and I'm like, what the hell's in them? He's like, I don't know. Just go through them. You open it up.
They're like rolled up with a rubber band around them.
Things thrown everywhere. Had no idea what the hell was going on. And by the time we're actually said and done some gigs, he made some money, and people got nice folded T-shirts.
Yeah. Autograph pictures, drumsticks from Corey, guitar picks from Brian and Rick. He had it down to a sign.
Back to that.
May have a few autographed Jared Ketterman CDs that Jared never signed. Sorry for whoever bought those.
Truth comes out. So let me tell you, I was in my back to the hotel key kind of thing. When I go to any kind of event where you have to have like a lanyard, and I keep all those and I hang them. I was looking through mine yesterday. Spatuno, signed, autographed. Jared
by who?
You.
Oh.
Dude, I guarantee I still have Spatuno. I got Bonfire from the first one.
Yeah.
All the summits, everything we've done in the day. I collect those too. I will give a quick shout out to the Origin Hotel in Lexington, Kentucky for the key card I just got this week. Beautiful key card. Appreciate it. But nicest key card I think I've actually got, by the way.
What makes it so nice?
Dude, it's like laminated and it's raised and it's like, it's in the car. I have to show you when I leave. It's a beautiful key card for a hotel. So shout out to the Origin for that one.
You ever see those murals where it's like a bunch of pictures
that makes a picture,
that makes one big picture? Yeah. See, I'd love to do that with the key cards. Maybe like find some software or something online.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That does the colors for you, and then like glue them all in there. It's like when you stand back, it's like
I guarantee you get on Pinterest or something and see where somebody's done something like that with key cards.
Yeah,
I'm sure
or a 3-dimensional structure
somewhere.
or Of course, there's probably a whole folder of it. Somebody's nasty habit of making artwork out of key cards. Bonfire Music Festival is coming back, by the way.
Yeah, you were telling me about that last night.
Yeah, so we're playing it next October.
Oh, so it's a year out? Oh, almost a year out still.
Where is that at?
It'd be Indiana or Illinois, Teotopolis.
I mean, is it the same place it was the last time?
I don't think so, but it's in the same area.
Who? You bringing the band back?
So I hadn't decided yet, actually. But Matt Poss is putting it on.
Okay.
So I think Sonny Ledford's already confirmed.
Really?
And maybe some other guys that you would know, but too early to say.
Why don't you guys do Rock the Ranch?
Nah. So we'll probably rent a bus and leave out here and head up to.
It goes back to my
bus or like OG bus with flux capacitor.
No flux capacitor on this bus. We'll rent a Prevost or something.
It's funny because that goes back to my fishing theory. You ever watch fishermen? The ones that are on the bank, they're trying to throw it as far as they can out in the middle of the lake.
Oh, yeah.
The ones in the middle of the lake, they're trying to throw it as close to the shore as they can.
Yeah.
It's like you got a music venue in your backyard, but you're going to drive to Indiana to go play.
Yeah.
And then there's guys driving from up there down here to play. That's right. Like, they're not even playing their own venue up there.
Matt will be here in March, I think.
I bet you Matt would do it.
Matt would do what?
Rock the Ranch.
He probably would.
Yeah.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Matter of fact,
it's a couple shows here a year.
When we get Pup in here, we'll because we're going to have him on the podcast. We'll have to maybe try to line that up.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
And so I think Matt's coming here in March. Matt Poss, look him up. Buy his music, support local.
Has he still got the original band or?
No, some of the guys, and then some of the guys started some side projects. But it's hard to keep a band in in line for a decade, especially when you're not signed and you're independent and you're trying to do everything yourself and you're handing them $100, here and there when you get paid after diesel fuel and bus rentals and, guitar techs. There's not a lot of money to go around. If you're a musician, you do it for the same reason you're a police officer or a teacher, and it's not for the money.
Podcaster.
Or a podcaster. It is truly for the love of music. But that's cool.
Yep.
Old Spatuno lanyard.
Yep. Bringing it back.
Yeah, they'll never be again either. They're done.
No, they brought it back.
They'll never be at the Armory anymore.
Yeah, it won't be ever. Yeah, they got their own spot. I think it's owned by somebody else now.
Such a good weekend too, man. It was that's probably one of my favorite shows I've ever played is Spatuno at Clemson.
Yeah, it was a good deal.
Awesome. So, good job, Jeremy Hurley, Mark Merck.
Yeah.
Those guys always treating us really well. So,
you call it?
Yeah, this is a good podcast. We wanted to do another week where we did not do a podcast.
We're just
vacations and hunting and fishing, and we just kind of got to the sideways. So,
kind of goes back to what we preach a lot in these podcasts. It's like you got to just put in the reps.
Yeah.
So this is just another rep.
That's right. So we'll get back in the swing of things. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. David Leavell, tell them your Instagram again, how to find you.
Cigars _and_Cerveza. That's about it, man.
That's about it. We appreciate your time coming into the state of South Carolina, the greatest states in the United States, and being on the podcast.
Many years.
Everybody. Thanks, Kyle.
See ya.
Y'all have a great Thanksgiving.